Why do you always want more? Why do you always want more? And you're never satisfied with what you have. Think about it. You get a new car. It's good for about 2 weeks. You start seeing it everywhere. I don't know what car everybody else drives. You're never satisfied. We're always longing for more. That is an indication that eternity is in your heart, that this world will never, ever satisfy. You're trying to fill eternity with things that this earth cannot do. Let me ask the dads a question. How many of you dads got to be there when your child was born and you cut the umbilical cord? You actually got to cut the... Okay, a few of you. God bless you. Wow. So Stephen, my first... unbelievable young man. I'm in there, right? So I'm in the place then, and the baby's coming out, and he had to be sucked out. So I had this cone head thing, and the doctor then hands me the scissors. And I'm like, yeah, just cut the cord. And I start shaking. And I get the scissors around the cord like this. I couldn't do it. I dropped the scissors. The doctor goes, what are you doing? You've got the baby's got to get the baby, right? I couldn't do it. I don't want to hurt this child. It's really scary for me. Fatherhood is tough. Late night, hard calls to make. Moments when I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. We brought Stephen home from the hospital, and Sandy had a really tough labor. She had some surgery afterward, and so she's trying to recover from that. And I got this baby. And I've never changed a diaper before. I don't know if I've ever held a baby. I know I hadn't held a baby that young before. I immediately call my mother-in-law. Now that you got to tell, it tells you how messed up I was to call the mother-in-law. You have to get down here. She was in Seattle at the time. We were in Salem, Oregon, and so she drives down that day. And I remember, I'm not terribly proud of this, but I remember she walked through the door before she could put her suitcase down or anything. I hand her Stephen, and I left. I checked out. I go, I'm in way over my head. The weight of that responsibility was too much for me at that time. I had a master's degree at the time. I was pastoring one of the fastest growing churches in Oregon at the time. But I was slammed right in my face with my own humanity. And looking at my limitations that I don't have enough, I don't know enough, I'm not good enough, I'm going to mess this thing up, I'm going to break this child, and I don't know what to do, and it scared me, so I bailed. There's a guy named Job in the Bible that was like that. He's asking God, how come this is going on? God, this is not right. God, you know this is wrong. God, what about this? And he's going through all this stuff, and he comes to the very end of the book, and finally God speaks to Job, and he says this, Job, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? You think you know so much. You've given me all your best arguments. And tell me if you can just answer that question. And what God was telling Job is what God was showing me. There in that little trailer that we lived in, that I am not God. I am not God. I don't know it all. I can't be everywhere. I don't have all power. You don't have all the answers that your kids are asking you. Remember the why stage? Why, Daddy? Why? Why, Daddy? Why? Why? Why, Daddy? Why is the Fruit Loops yellow and blue and green? Why? Why? Because they put sugar on it. Why they put sugar on it? Because so you'll like it more. Why will I like it more? Because it tastes good. And you finally, just eat your cereal. Why? Those are the easy ones. As they begin to mature. Dad, you think she's the one? Dad, where do I go to school? Dad, I have these job opportunities. And all of a sudden, you're supposed to be the guy, and you're supposed to know, and you're supposed to have it all together. And you recognize that you've not been down some of these roads before, and you can't help them the way that you would like to. You know what I learned having kids? I learned I can't be everywhere all at once. I got 3 kids. They begin to, grow up, they go to school, and God bless you, teachers. But why do you put I was so thankful when the last one graduated from college. I didn't have to go to another. You children have your future before you. You are going to be the future of the world. And oh my goodness. And how many flautist recitals can you stand when your kid doesn't play very well? Daddy, you going to be at mine? Daddy, you going to be at mine? All three of them got to go in three different directions, and I can't be there. All three of them. I'm going to disappoint two of them. Mom, you go to that one, you go to that one. Stephen, he was a little older, so we just said, you just go by yourself. I remember I put him on a plane at 12 years old and didn't pay the extra money to have the escort. I said, no, just act like you're 15. Don't say anything. You can't be there all the time. God was not mocking us when he gave us kids. What he was doing was showing us, you need me. I am all powerful. I am all knowing. I do have the ability to be everywhere at the same time. I've been where you haven't been if you'll lean into me. Something about our generation, my generation, in 1960s, 95% of working class children grew up in the same area as their parents and their grandparents. The latest stats that I could find in 2005, only 30%. Many of you in this room, you moved away. Audrey and Chris, they just moved from Houston. You have family way back there. And you can't make that phone call and say, hey, can you be here because I don't know what to do. How do I approach this? What do I do here? Years ago, they would show you, let me show you how to swaddle that baby. Let me show you how to change a diaper. Let me show you how to. We don't have that. It's even more relevant for us than to lean into our Father in heaven. And he expects us to turn to him, especially when we want to bail as dads and check out. We are here to shape our kids for eternity, for the afterlife. It's huge. Ecclesiastes, Solomon, smartest guy in the world, said, yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time, even that child that is crying and won't go to sleep, and you're rocking and you're trying and you don't know what to do. And he has planted eternity in that child's heart. That little life that you've been gifted with, eternity is placed in their heart. But even so, people can't see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to the end. Even though it's there in them and in you, you still can't see all that God has. Think of this. Eternity in their hearts. And yet, why do you always want more? Why do you always want more? And you're never satisfied with what you have. Think about it. If you came into my closet and saw my shoes, you would say what my wife says. Charlie, that's sin. And so I pray for forgiveness and then go buy another pair. Because there's always a better pair. There's always, hey, come on, right? Hey, what about these? What about these? Well, I need these. You don't need them. I always want more. You get a new car. It's good for about 2 weeks. You start seeing it everywhere. I don't know what car everybody else drives. Hey, give me a new car. You're never satisfied. We're always longing for more. That is an indication that eternity is in your heart, that this world will never, ever satisfy. You're trying to fill eternity with things that this earth cannot do. C.S. Lewis put it like this in The Weight of Glory, one of his books. We are half-hearted creatures fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered to us. When there's something more than this life, like ignorant children who want to go on making mud pies in a slum because we can't imagine what Jamaica's like. I just sit here with this stuff that wow, another pair, another car, another something. It's never enough. And we teach it to our children. We model it for them and say, hey, get all you can out of this life. Get a bigger house. Get better. Get more. All you can. And it's the difference between raising a spoiled child and maturing our kids in Christ. Eternity is in your heart. It's in their heart. We have a longing that we were born with that only heaven can satisfy. We have limits here. I hope that it pushes you to point your kids to something that will satisfy. You don't have all the answers. How about saying, I don't know, but I know this: when I get to heaven, I'll have an answer. I can't do this now, but you know what? When I get to heaven, Stephen asked me, Dad, teach me how to dunk a basketball. Man, I got a 4-inch vertical leap. And my greatest reach, that leaves me about 12 inches short of even touching the rim. And I don't look, oh, Dad's not good enough. Dad's not, I wish, No, you know what? Hey, Stephen, when I get to heaven, you wait till you see me dunk a basketball. It's going to be amazing. I start pointing them, putting something in them that says, hey, I long for something more. Why do your children love fairy tales? I tell you a story. A long time ago in a land far, far away, there's a princess. She was locked in a castle, and the knight came and slew the dragon and saved the princess. They lived, and they fell in love, and they lived happily ever after. Tell me another story, Daddy. Tell me another story. Why do you and I love fairy tales? Because there's something in your heart that says, I want that to be real. At the very least, you want there to be something else, something cries within you. And as you age, it doesn't go. Anybody know the number one grossing movie of all time? Number one grossing movie, money. Somebody said it over here. I heard it. Avalon. Okay, thank you. Who said it over here? Oh, good job. Avatar. $3 billion worldwide, around the world, the highest grossing movie. And I thought it was a dumb movie. I barely could watch the thing. Seriously, I thought Colonel Hardbottom should have just dropped a nuke on top of that tree and ended the whole deal. But this thing, why? Why? Because John Sully, paraplegic, all of a sudden gets a new body where he can now soar, where he can do things that he never dreamed of ever being able to do. And the evil is defeated, and righteousness reigns, and the beauty, and people go, yeah. And not just here in America, around the world, this thing is grabbed. One of the second highest grossing movies, Avatar 2. I've saved myself from that. You know what, like number 2 or 3 is? Titanic. Titanic is that boat that's 3 hours long. Why? There's a love story there. It's historical, but you go, hey, I want to fall in love. I want there to be something more. I want to have that kind of magic in my life. Can it be? C.S. Lewis says, it wouldn't be in your heart if God didn't plan to fill it. But it's not for here. It's for heaven. There are some things that God put in us that will never, ever, ever be filled here. And what happens to so many of us, we say, you know what? It's never going to happen. We teach our kids, you just got to learn about life. It's tough, it's hard, and it's rough, so I'm just going to just pour that into you. And you got to get all you can and take all you can and be all you can right here, right now, because this is all there is for you. And we begin to live that way, and our kids begin to live that way, and we miss out teaching our kids that there is a real place that God has promised to fill, heaven, where the adventure begins.